is our long overdue chat with the fan club. So we're gonna do our best to answer the questions that you were throwing at us back in September and October.
I'm Mistress Nagini.
I'm the Luminous.
And this is our friend Lily the Corn Snake. She won't be answering any questions.
Mark asks, are there any plans to allow people who can't make it to the screening to hear the Jekyll and Hyde soundtrack? Mark, yes.
We recorded the show and the dress rehearsal.
Yes.
And we are actually listening to that, and it turned out extremely well. We might actually go and do a studio recording of it as well, but you will hear it.
It was amazing, and it was there was a lot of folks that came, but of course we're up here in the wilds of Canada, so it's a little bit hard for everyone that we would love to come over. So definitely we do have plans to record it, or to fix it up, I should say, and to send it out to fans, I think.
And chatting with a few people, ideally we would love to perform it again. That was really a dream come true for us to even get a chance to write anything like this. So we're trying to chat with a few people and hopefully get something together to take it to a few places.
If I'm not mistaken, I think if you're watching this video, then you might be able to look down there, or maybe up there, I'm not sure, and click on the link to download a track from the soundtrack.
Right.
And we have another Mark that asked, nice, if you guys had the choice of an artist or band that you could tour with, who would you choose? Alice Cooper, Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson, or Cradle of Filth?
Well, you make that tough for me, at least. That's a tough choice for me.
Not for me.
Oh,
I don't
say
find
Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's no contest for me. I don't even have to give that a second thought.
For me, it's a pretty tough choice.
That's great.
I mean, I don't know. I suppose. How does one choose? Oh my God, that's. I guess maybe Manson.
Excellent question as well. I would have to say King Diamond.
Manson is still, very close to my heart. But you're right, Alice Cooper is a legend.
You know what? I would have to say Alice Cooper, and there's a specific reason why. Now, anecdotally, I don't know, because of course I've never met him, though he has come through where we live. Brave man.
Yeah.
And what I've heard anecdotally is that he's a very personable guy, really down to earth. I think also because he has experienced more than I ever will, and perhaps many of us that we know ever will, in the music business, in being a costume performer, if I can call him, or one of the originals, and all of the tricks, of course also with snakes, that he would do on stage. Now, I would really like, it's very selfish, but I would really like to approach him and talk to him. That's my selfish wish for performing with him, and just even performing with him to just to watch how he acts on stage and how he performs. So that's the angle that I really like with Alice Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That kind of years of experience in stage theatrics would be pretty awesome to pick his brain.
Absolutely. In fact, all of them probably.
Yeah.
From the point of view of someone who really enjoys a show, I think there was no contest. Alice Cooper is a showman. Rob Zombie has wonderful props. He has wonderful props, and he has wonderful giant robot things. And
is his wife Sherry there? Because if his wife Sherry's there, then I'm gonna have to go with that. I love her. She's great.
I don't know. I don't think I've seen her. I think I've seen Rob Zombie twice. I don't think I.
She's not always with him,
noticed.
but she's.
I'm not sure I would have noticed, actually. I don't know. I think the second time I saw Rob Zombie, I was kind of like, "Where's the beer?" I don't.
That's good. Yeah, no, I only saw her with him once, and they're very cute on stage together. Oh. He smacks her butt and stuff. It's adorable.
Well, Alice Cooper at the last tour had this woman who was this clockwork doll, right? It was awesome, and she flopped out of this box, and he stuck a big it was a big
wind up
crank in her, and went. And
oh, that's really cool.
It was awesome. It was great. Really cool. It was great. It was a very stripped down show, I think, for Alice Cooper, but it's still awesome. Still cut his head off, all that stuff. It was
good.
Yeah, Alice
good.
Cooper.
We've got this one from Johnny. what band would you most like to support or have support you?
Well, I think I would really like Gene Simmons to support me because I have like 2 jobs, and I would really like some help. I don't know. He seems like he has a lot of money.
Okay, well, if it could be like, is this like a complete open world choice?
This is an open world.
Open world choice.
Has to be an open world.
Like old Misfits.
Old Misfits. Woo. That'd be insane. Yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer for me.
We have had shows with so many amazing bands that I have loved pieces and wonderfulness about all of them, and I would love to do it all again, is what it is. And more than have like a whole weekend festival. I want a music festival with all of the bands that we've played with before or that we have supported in the past. I think that would be
fun.
We've just, I'm sorry, it's kind of what came to mind. Honestly, I don't mean it as a cop-out, but we've had some amazing experiences with the bands that we have played with already.
I thought of this because I saw this question before. I would like very much, and I think this would make total sense, I would like the Waddingers to come to Western Canada. The whole like hillbilly satanic cannibal thing.
Yeah. That would fly.
That would fly out here. People dig that, and they'd know where you're coming from out here. Yeah.
They'd get that.
So you gotta come. Don't come in the winter. Come in the
Please,
summer.
no,
No,
you'll
don't do it. But maybe Halloween.
Yeah, that would be very fun.
We had a wonderful little Halloween tour last year with Lord Montague, with Steampunk Funk Bazaar.
That was so good.
I honestly think that it would be great to be able to get the chance to play with some of the bands that really inspired the creation of NJC, where it came from. I mean, obviously it'd be amazing to be able to play with Killing Joke. That's one of the biggest influences of the band's inception, so something like that would be amazing. I mean, we've played with Forbidden Dimension. They're another big influence, so. Or play with Ghost. Everyone seems to think that we have a great similar aesthetic, so, I mean, I don't know. I'd love to play with any band who likes to get dressed up, so.
Absolutely.
This one's from Quentin. Alright, dead or alive, what 3 guests would you invite to perform with you? Oh, to perform with us.
Like on stage with us?
Yeah.
Like in the band, like they're playing with us on stage.
They would play with us, perform with us.
First of all, dead or alive, definitely not Bon Jovi.
Jeff Goldblum.
Oh my lord.
Final
there you
answer.
have
That's my
it.
top 3.
All 3 of them. all 3 would be Jeff Goldblum. Yes.
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive? Nash the Slash on electric violin. James Chance playing saxophone. And one of the guys from The Residents, as long as he's wearing the big eyeball.
There you go.
That's what I want.
That's pretty good.
Actually, I don't have an answer for that. I just wanted to say something about Bon Jovi.
You know, have some of the guests, some of those great kind of theatrical artists.
Yeah.
Similar to the question before, like Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper,
Marilyn Manson.
you know,
Heck yeah. Oh, wow.
Anyone who's kind of also into any stage theatrics would be really fun to be able to interact, I think, with that and build a show.
Sorry, you shouldn't let me in front of a camera.
Ian! Hi, Ian. Would you one day like to make an NJC movie, album, tie-in in the style of Tommy, Quadrophenia, etc., always supposing you had the funds to do justice to it? That's something that I think that's a logical goal, ultimate future thing. I don't think Soldiers of the Mark would have been great for it. This Treason, our album from 8 years ago, I always envisioned that as a collection of 10 concept videos that obviously was just not possible to do or film. That would have been insane. But I always envisioned that as a collection of concept videos. But perhaps in the near future, I thought of this when I saw this question. The idea of taking multiple songs from our catalog and creating a story around them, and then, like we had this idea for comic book as well, and we keep getting roped into other things.
Fingers in so many directions.
Yes, we got our fingers in a lot of highs right now.
Yeah, they always say, the power of saying yes. We know that power too well.
Yes. We say yes too many times, and we
So
end
much
up
yes.
saying yes to everyone except ourselves. Yeah. Is that about it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Adam says, what director would you choose to helm an NJC concert or concert film, and why? What I would love to have helm an NJC movie are the directors from a Canadian, I guess, children's young adult series called Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High. Now, Degrassi's still going, from what I hear, but I'm talking the old 80s and 90s, and the real, how it became kind of a part of all of our high schools or younger, and it was so darn heck sorry Canadian. It was very come as you are. The amazing thing is that these directors and the crew, which was with them, and the actors were not afraid to tackle some really kind of controversial subjects. So in the 90s it was HIV/AIDS, and they tackled it with, I think, a lot of respect. Yeah. And so I think that if they were to do a movie, it would be very respectful, but a lot would happen to us. I think it would be very larger than life and very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, our band has quite a wide age gap too, so just the fact that it affected all of us.
That's true. That's true.
So intensely, is pretty amazing. I mean, selfishly, Peter Jackson. I've watched him.
No kidding.
I mean, God, yeah. I just want to selfishly meet him. So if he wanted to direct something, that would be amazing.
Specific director. You know what I would like? A concept video in the style of those, is that Rankin and Bass? That did The Hobbit and the Last Unicorn?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
in the style of heavy metal or wizards, like that rotoscope.
That would be perfect.
Is that Ralph Bakshi? Is that
that is Ralph Bakshi.
Okay,
I'm pretty
Ralph
sure.
Bakshi. He might not be alive. Oh, I'm so sorry.
We're so sorry if you.
We're so sorry,
Ralph. If you.
I feel like I heard that. Okay, we're gonna cut this. We're not gonna. You're probably not gonna hear us say this. Ralph Bakshi, if you're still with us, yes.
Please direct.
We would like you to direct our next short,
anything.
our next concept video,
Anything.
or concept musical film. There
you go.
You can rotoscope us. If you don't know what rotoscoping is, look it up.
Yeah.
It's probably that weird animation you saw as a kid that you thought, this is kind of, I don't like this. This isn't good cartoons.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Andy asks, what bands, if there are any, are your main influences? Actually, the next one, Neil also asks, musically, what is your biggest influence? Let's say that's kind of the same
pretty
thing.
tied in together, yeah.
Actually, that is a hard question. Depending on if you're asking me about playing, my influences about playing drums or about playing in this band specifically, there are kind of some crossovers, so I guess what I should say would be Killing Joke, Misfits, because I like to drink, and I don't even know if they drank, but some of it's a little sloppy.
I don't know. That's a really hard question, though. I mean, there's so many different genres that our band listens to, even individual members on a daily basis. I mean, I don't know.
And it changes.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't know. Chelsea Wolfe, Agnes Obel, Killing Joke, Manson. I don't know. The list goes on. I don't know where it ends.
Oh, for me personally, a lot of 80s ladies.
80s ladies.
80s ladies. Pat Benatar.
Pat Benatar.
Yeah, she's my girl.
We talked about doing a Pat Benatar song, didn't we?
We did. We never did it, but we could always resurrect
I
it.
remember learning a Pat Benatar song on guitar
Yeah.
for you.
Oh,
We never
what
did
happened
it.
to that?
Killing Joke, Ministry, Skinny Puppy, Sisters of Mercy.
Yeah.
So we're talking some, and of course, well, I guess it's not musical, but of course movie influences such as the old Hammer films in the 70s.
I really like the first 3 Danzig albums a lot. I like the songs, I like the composition, I like the delivery, I like the sound of them, I like the melodies on them. I really like that stuff. And I think we did actually used to do Twist of Cain years ago, but before you were in the band.
Yeah,
we did.
I think I
we did
remember
Twisted Tea.
seeing you guys.
You actually probably saw us do it, and
Yeah.
that might have been one of the only times we ever played it.
Really?
Because I know the show you're talking about. Yeah.
I love it.
All right.
And we've got this one from James. Such an unusual genre, such as steampunk. What do you think makes for a good track?
Okay.
Steampunk, very interesting. Something akin to the goth subculture, where one of the only things that really seems to tie it together is visual.
I mean, it is unusual. When we first got even referenced as being steampunk, I was kind of taken aback because I always assumed that it was just an aesthetic, a visual aesthetic. I wasn't aware that it was also a potential music genre. That I mean, to me, it's unusual genre because of that.
It's really diverse, so I think that
It's
a
also-
lot of things could make a good steampunk track.
It's not just it's a visual aesthetic, but it's also a storytelling aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
I suppose for me, if we're talking about steampunk as a musical genre, I really understand it to be sort of the storytelling aspect, what the subject matter is of your song. I think that's maybe how it's crossed over from the visual to the auditory. Maybe
I think so.
don't know.
Well done. Thank you. I like that.
You may be a more rock and roll sounding band. You may be a more folky you may be a cabaret sounding band. You may be a kind of an acoustic group, or you may be completely electronic or whatever. But the aesthetic and the storytelling angle, that's what makes it. That's kind of what the steampunk is to us, anyways. We used to have a real hard time explaining what we do, and people would see you have an electric cello, and you have theremin, you have these retro futuristic instruments, and yes, we have what it really is kind of a gothic Victorian kind of theme, and that's a very big thing for me to tell these kind of gothic Victorian tales or stories that always to me seem like they're set at the turn of the century, and that falls into all the steampunk themes. And
For sure.
but
if you have a
musically,
little like historical flair, maybe a neat instrument that's not in everything.
I like the bands. What makes for a good track, I think, was the kind of the meat of the question.
Yeah.
I like those bands that sing about like grave robbers and body snatchers and stuff like that. There's a band in England. I want to say they are. I don't want to get it wrong. Thy Last Drop, I think. Thy Last Drop. Amazing band. It seems like all their songs are about selling dead guys to the doctor in the alley to make a couple shillings or something. I love those guys. That's a good steampunk track to me, but my tastes are a little left of center, so all right.
That's good. That sounds like Frankenstein Chronicles.
Right. See,
That's
like
great.
Frankenstein, Dracula, the whole Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and my personal favorite, Picture of Dorian Gray.
Oh yeah.
These are all things that we borrow heavily from, and we've written songs about all these subjects actually. And I'm looking at the next question from Sakura. How do you view your position within the world of steampunk, and how do you feel you affect it? I think we just kind of talked about that,
I think
actually.
we danced around that a lot.
Okay, hey, here we go. I consider our position in steampunk around the foggy fringes of it. So I don't think we're definitely not in the middle. You'll notice that I don't have some of the more iconic motifs to what I'm wearing. What I'm wearing, I'm considering pretty goth.
We didn't walk into it. We, as a band, we're much older than this scene is as a musical scene, because there were groups like 15 years. I mean, we've been around for 22 years now. And there were bands 15 years ago, before there was steampunk music, that were already kind of doing things that were in line with what we were doing in terms of having this Victorian kind of angle. I want to say groups like Voltaire, right?
Sure.
Who we've played with several times, and Rasputina and Emily Autumn.
Okay.
And this was before people started identifying music as steampunk, and I think we fall into that category.
the costume aspect and the beautiful neo-Victorian aspect,
Yeah.
I absolutely am attracted to, but more like the foggy streets of 1800s London than the whimsical steam-powered world. Mine's
Yeah.
more fog-powered.
Yeah, I think I'm coming from the same place, but yeah, I don't know.
We'll always be grateful for all the steampunk fans overseas, especially the ones that helped bring us out to the UK
Yeah.
2 years ago. That was fantastic.
Oh yeah, there's a special place in our hearts for you because you were like the most warm, inviting community, and so cool
This-
and awesome.
The steampunk community is completely different than almost every other kind of niche community that we've ever and we've encountered a lot that we've ever kind of been a part of.
We were absolutely taken aback by how accepting, how friendly, how very excellent. Like just a whole group of people who really strive to be excellent to each other, and how wonderful is that?
All right. Cheers.